Rain tapped gently against the windowpane of Emilia's bedroom, a soft, rhythmic patter that should have been the perfect backdrop for quiet study. Outside, the neat rows of brick-terraced houses in their West London suburb glowed under street lamps, garden fences damp and glistening. Inside, Emilia's room was orderly, pale blue walls, fairy lights strung above a modest bookshelf, a white wooden desk by the window cluttered with psychology textbooks, highlighters, and a half-empty mug of cold tea. Her laptop sat closed. Her revision timetable, printed and pinned to the corkboard above her bed, was glaringly unfulfilled. Emilia herself sat cross-legged in her chair, wearing a soft pink knee-length cotton dress with short sleeves and a subtle floral trim at the hem. Her white socks were slightly rumpled from shifting in her seat. To anyone glancing in, she looked the picture of a diligent student, back straight, books open, pen in hand. But her eyes weren't on the page about cognitive behavioral theory. They were fixed on the screen of her phone, hidden just beneath the open textbook like a secret weapon. She'd told her mum she'd switch off early tonight. That she'd focus hard because tomorrow was the day of her Year 1 psychology final, the exam that would determine whether she scraped a passing grade or faced academic probation. She'd even posted a photo on her private Instagram story earlier that evening. Last night of grind flexed biceps books #exam ready, captioned over a tidy desk shot, her pink dress neatly framing the image. But the truth wasn't so photogenic. Now, at 11:17 p.m., she was deep in a thread of meme replies, laughing quietly at a video of a cat failing to jump onto a counter. She tapped like, sent a quick voice note to her best mate, checked her follower count, up by 3, and scrolled again. She told herself she was just taking a 5-minute break. But the break had stretched to 90 minutes, and her revision sheet remained blank except for a doodle in the corner, a tiny heart with Maya inside it, her friend's name scribbled without thought. She didn't hear the soft footsteps in the hallway. Didn't notice the slight pause outside her door. The handle turned. Emilia froze. Her thumb hovered over a TikTok autoplay button. Her mum stood in the doorway, still in her nurse's scrubs, navy blue, slightly wrinkled from a double shift at St. Mary's Hospital. Her curly hair was tied back, dark circles under her eyes. But her expression wasn't tired. It was sharp. Disappointed. Heartbroken. "Emilia," she said quietly. "Not angry. Not yet. Just certain." Emilia's throat tightened. She snapped her phone face down on the desk as if that could undo what had just been seen. She began. Her mum stepped inside and closed the door behind her with a soft click. The rain outside seemed louder now. "That's the third night this week," her mum said, voice low. "You promised me you'd take this seriously. You promised yourself." Emilia looked down at her pink dress, suddenly feeling childish in it. "I was studying," she mumbled. "I just needed a quick break." Her mum walked over and gently lifted the textbook. Beneath it lay the phone, screen still glowing with a recommended video, 10 signs you're secretly a genius. She didn't say anything. She just looked at Emilia, really looked, and in that gaze was all the worry, the fear, the love Emilia had ignored for months. "You're not just failing your exams, love," her mum finally said. "You're failing yourself." Emilia's eyes welled up. "I'll fix it. I'll stay up all night, I swear." But her mum shook her head slowly. "It's not about tonight, Emilia. It's about every night you've chosen a screen over your future. Every time you've lied to me, and to yourself, about just 5 more minutes." She folded her arms, not in anger, but in resolve. You're 20, yes. But you're still living under my roof, eating my food, relying on my support while you throw your degree away. I'm not throwing it away, Emilia protested, voice cracking. Aren't you? Her mum's voice softened, but her stance didn't waver. Your tutor called me last week. Said you've missed 3 seminars and submitted 2 assignments late. You told me you'd caught up. But you hadn't, had you? Emilia looked away, shame burning her cheeks. She hadn't. Her mum exhaled slowly, then turned toward the door. Come with me. Emilia followed, barefoot on the cool laminate floor, her pink dress swaying with each step. Her mum didn't go far, just to the hall cupboard beside the stairs. She reached inside and pulled out a smooth, well-worn wooden paddle. It wasn't large, but it was heavy, sanded smooth from years of careful use, never in rage, only in necessity. Emilia's breath hitched. She knew that paddle. She hadn't seen it since she was 16, after she'd skipped school to film a prank video that went wrong. I don't want this, Emilia whispered. I don't want to give it, her mum said, turning back. But you've left me no choice. This isn't about control, Emilia. It's about waking you up before it's too late. She led her daughter back into the bedroom, closing the door firmly behind them. Stand up straight, her mum said gently but firmly. Emilia obeyed, hands clasped in front of her pink dress, eyes downcast. Her heart pounded like a drum against her ribs. Her mum stepped behind her. This paddling is for willful neglect of your responsibilities. For choosing distraction over discipline. For breaking promises not just to me, but to your future self. The first stroke landed squarely, sharp and stinging through the thin cotton of her dress. Emilia gasped, tears springing to her eyes instantly. 2. She bit her lip, shoulders trembling. 3. For lying to yourself that just 5 more minutes wouldn't matter. A sob escaped her. Mum, please. 4. For wasting your potential while others fight just to get a chance like yours. She bent slightly, back to cover herself, but her mum gently moved them away. Last one. For breaking my trust. The final stroke echoed in the quiet room. Emilia crumpled onto the edge of her bed, tears flowing freely now, not just from the sting on her backside, but from the weight of everything she'd ignored. Her mum sat beside her, arm around her shoulders, holding her as she shook. I love you too much, her mum whispered into her hair, to let you drift away without a fight. After her mum left, softly closing the door behind her, Emilia didn't reach for her phone. She couldn't. It sat on the desk like a guilty artifact. Instead, she wiped her eyes, stood up slowly, and walked to the desk. She picked up her psychology textbook, turned to chapter 7, Memory and Forgetting, and she read. All night. No music. No breaks. No excuses. Just her notes, and the quiet hum of the house settling around her. The rain had stopped by 3 a.m., leaving a cool stillness in the air. By dawn, her eyes were gritty, her backside still tender, but her mind felt clearer than it had in months. She walked to campus that morning with her notes clutched tight, her pink dress now paired with a denim jacket against the crisp London morning. The exam was brutal, but for the first time, she didn't blank out. She wrote what she knew. Not perfectly, but honestly. Weeks later, the results came in, 52%. A pass. Barely. She didn't celebrate. She sat on her bed, the same bed where she'd sobbed after the paddling, and stared at the screen in silence. A year ago, she would have posted a relieved selfie, made it. Smiling face with open mouth and cold sweat with sparkles and emojis. But now, all she felt was regret. Not for the paddling. Never that. But for every night she'd scrolled instead of studied. For every promise she'd broken. For nearly losing something precious because she couldn't put down a screen. That evening, she opened her journal real paper. Not an app, and wrote, "My phone didn't fail me. My choices did. And choices have consequences. But they also have second chances if you're brave enough to earn them." She deleted Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter from her phone. Installed a screen time blocker. Bought a physical planner. And started again. By the start of the new term, Emilia's room had changed. Still tidy, still soft-lit, but now her phone stayed in a drawer during study hours. Her desk held only books, pens, and a printed photo of her mum in her nurse's uniform, smiling proudly after her last promotion. One Saturday afternoon in early spring, Emilia walked into the backyard carrying 2 mugs of tea. The garden was small but loved, pots of lavender, a wooden bench under a cherry tree just beginning to bloom. Her mum sat there, reading a novel, still in her weekend loungewear. Emilia handed her a mug, then silently placed a printed sheet on her lap, her latest module results. 68%. Solid. Respectable. Earned. Her mum looked up, eyes filling. She pulled Emilia into a hug. "You did this," she murmured. "All by yourself." Emilia shook her head. "No. You believed I could even when I didn't." They sat in comfortable silence, steam curling from their mugs, the London sky pale and kind above them. Somewhere down the street, a bus rumbled past the familiar stop near their house. A sparrow landed on the fence. Emilia wore her pink dress again, not as a costume of innocence, but as a quiet reminder that growth isn't loud. It's choosing the hard thing when no one's watching. It's showing up for yourself, even after you've failed. And sometimes it's sitting in a garden with the person who loves you enough to paddle your backside, so your heart can finally wake up.